In chapter 10.3, what we have is an introduction to PD+. And what we're going to see with PD+ is that it is a minor change to PD, and one which is a change that should be familiar to us, because it's exactly the same sort of thing that we did with SD. So with PD+, we retain all the rules from PD, but we have an additional rule of replacement. So we're really just adding one thing. It's not stronger than PD, which means that anything that's derivable in PD+ is going to be derivable in PD. Merely that the derivations may be longer in PD than they would have been in PD+. Importantly, this rule of replacement applies to subformulas as well as sentences, so you don't have to isolate things to be able to use this rule of replacement. So the rule of replacement we're introducing is quantifier negation. And this is a really interesting one because it's not entirely obvious, and it's reminiscent of a concept that we had back in chapter 7, so we'll talk about that. Quantifier negation basically tells you that, if you read through the first line logically, it is not the case that for all xp, that's the same as there exists an x such that not p. So what this means is, if I know that it's not the case that all x's make p true, then that means there has to be at least one x that makes p false. So that's all that says, essentially. If I know that it's not the case for all xp, then I also know that there exists some x such that not p. And the other rule is just the opposite. Now what's interesting about this is that we actually see it flipping the quantifiers. So we can flip back and forth between universal and existential by moving the negation. So that's kind of interesting, and it doesn't matter if the negation's on the inside or the outside. You know that via quantifier negation, I can move it from one to the other and just change the type of quantifier that's there. So this looks more complicated than it is. It's actually very simple, and it's very simple to remember, just merely knowing that moving that negation changes the quantifier, and that you can apply this to subformulas as well. So you can do it anywhere, even within a particular formula. You just have to be careful about scope. Be careful about your parentheses. Why is this familiar? Well, if you remember, in chapter 7, we talked about the AEIO square of opposition. This is exactly the same sort of thing. So the A, E, I, and O sentences are going to correspond to the different portions of quantifier negation here that you see above. Notice that forms a square. And that if you kind of flip it around a little bit, and instead of having the rules go back and forth across right and left, if you instead have them cross up and down, then you have that square of opposition. It's precisely the same sort of thing. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And this basically is a codification then in PD+ of what it is that Aristotle gave to us in the square of opposition. So that's kind of useful and kind of interesting to see. Hopefully this will be useful. This is definitely a rule that makes your derivations easier when you're dealing with PD.